It's a pleasure to welcome back to the show Brian Kelly. And Brian, it's election season. I don't mess with the red states and the blue states. That's for another channel. But we got purple states and we got crimson states. And if I'm going to have Nick on one night, I got way too many friends in Baton Rouge to not have you on. I couldn't come back in that town if I didn't have you on. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and I appreciate you having me on. And I'll tell you what, the passions are pretty high down here in Louisiana, and I think you're smart. If you want to get a restaurant reservation, this was a good call.
Yeah, well, I know a few folks, but I'm sure they wouldn't answer the call if I didn't have you back in. And it's great to talk in advance of this game, Brian. You've been honest about going there and what it represented, games like this. And it's not like you came from nowhere. My God, Notre Dame is as big a stage as there is. But when you talk about a game like Saturday night and what it represents, the stakes, the stage, the emotion, what is it that you most look forward to?
I think I want to get the stadium electric, and that means you got to play well, right? I mean, certainly it's going to be a sold-out stadium. It'll be partisan to certainly LSU, but it's a privilege to play in these kinds of games in the SEC and against really the standard bearer of what college football has been in terms of excellence, and that is what Nick Saban has done at Alabama.
I asked Nick about that feeling right before you walk out of the tunnel. And for him, it's very different because, as you say, it's partisan, and Tiger Stadium at night, it is a different animal altogether. But you benefit from tapping into that electricity. How do you describe it to those that haven't experienced it, what that place, I was talking about the value of the venue, Brian. What could that place mean to you?
Oh, it changes everything. The momentum, the energy. I've been into some great environments in my career. I've been so fortunate. This one is so special. But again, you've got to play well because
of course.
It's like anything else. It'll get quiet in here if you're not playing well. But if your football team is moving and playing with excitement and making plays, it is deafening, and it is certainly a home field advantage.
One of the most interesting things to me about sports, all sports, but I think particularly college sports, is a team might look like one version of something in September, and then something different in October, and then something altogether different come November. And you're smiling and shaking your head. I think from the time that you guys lost to Tennessee until right now, I think you've seen your team look different. Where have you grown most?
Well, I just think the way we do things on a day-to-day basis, and most of those things, Scott, I think are off the field. You know, how we handle ourselves, our attention to detail has everything to do with why we're doing things better and better. And we're right in the middle of this, right? And
right.
Alabama's been doing it for a long time. We're just starting to kind of get to that consistency in terms of doing it the right way. But we only need to be the best team one day and on Saturday. And that's what we're looking to be, is the best team that day.
And to that point, Brian, you come from one place, your quarterback comes from another, and when you try to put this together on the fly, when it starts to click and make sense to everybody, and you look around the room and everybody's starting to get it, what's that like?
Fun. It's fun. That's why you coach, right? That's why I've been doing it as long. It's my why, right? It's a collection of young men coming together, believing in something, and believing to their core that they're going to do this and commit to it. And that's why I'm so proud of these guys, and that's why it's been so fun as a football coach.
My last question for you, Brian, I have had the good fortune to be down there and see what it's like, and it is different. And I've often wondered, I've been sitting in studios for ESPN for 20 some odd years. If I went to a different network, there'd be a camera and there'd be lights and there'd be mics. It'd be the same idea, but it would feel different because it would be different. And I just wonder, how would you best explain what's been the most different experience wearing that LSU on your left chest as their ball coach?
It's probably just the fact that each and every week it's the American League East. I mean, it's
right.
it's a gauntlet, right? And I've hadn't experienced it at that level, but it's still about family. It's still about faith. It's still about, here's the good part, food. They love food, and you better like etouffee and crawfish, and I love seafood. So that's been great. And then it's about football. Football is big. So if you're a football coach and you don't like it down here, there's something wrong with you.
That's a fact, man. If I give you credit, you look great. If I was down there for 6 months, they'd be pushing me around on a wheelbarrow, man. That food is too darn good for me, man. So, look, the atmosphere Saturday night is one of one. I look forward to watching. I appreciate your time. I know you got stuff to go do, including getting ready for Bama. So go get to that and stay good, all right?
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.